Oh shit! I don't have my headphones on.
Hello.
Joanne.
Yes. There we go.
First of all, can I tell you how delighted I am to speak to you?
Oh, thank you so much, Harry.
Okay, so we have a lot to get to, so buckle up.
Okay, I am ready.
I am ready. Well, I'm glad you're ready because you know what I'm ready for? I am ready for some non-alcoholic mocktails.
I love it.
I have been on a health craze. I quit drinking for like 3 months. I'm back on the sauce, but I'm going to probably get back off it. And I like the idea of not just like being the lame ass at the bar. It's like, oh,
Right.
I'll just have a Topo Chico with lime. And let's restart. We're talking with Joanne, the founder and CEO of Sexy AF Spirits, non-alcoholic spirits that have botanicals in them and zero alcohol, which not all, let's just be honest, not all non-alcoholic spirits are completely alcohol free. A lot of them have a 1.5%, and like a lot of sweet water, I call it sugar water poured in, which it's a bartender's friend, sugar water, but not necessarily what everybody wants. So tell us your origin story, how you got started. I'm dying. You were on Jimmy Kimmel. Let's just hear it all.
Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate the warm intro and introduction to the amazing world of alcohol-free and non-alcohol-free spirits. What a journey it has become and is. And I'm so excited to be here today to share my story and share a little bit about Sexy AF Spirits with you. I usually save this for the end, but the AF actually stands for alcohol-free. It is a play on other terms of different endearment that people have fun with. Either you love the name, you hate the name, but 100% never forget our name. And that's what we're all about at the end of the day with regards to our branding and, the fun that we have at Sexy AF Spirits. A little bit about myself. I am originally from South Africa and lived around the world. Found myself living in Calgary, Alberta, Canada now for over 11 years. And about 2 years ago, I had this aha moment when I was with my girlfriends, going out for lunches and dinners. I was drinking cocktails and wines and living my best life, and my friends weren't. A lot of them are Mormon and don't drink for religious reasons. They don't drink for health reasons. And I came back home to Calgary and I said to my husband, you know what? I had a great girls' trip to California. I was having a blast. I was drinking all weekend, but my friends felt super excluded, in my opinion, that all they had was tea, water, sugary pop, Shirley Temples to choose from, and we're adult women. And I want to solve this problem that I think it's a problem selfishly for myself and my girlfriends, that I want to create this amazing, bold, sexy brand that's 100% alcohol free that you can order and it'll be served to you and there's no questions asked, like, why aren't you drinking? All a red flashing error as to why you can't have alcohol. It's just going to be plain and simple. That's what I want. And I got the ball rolling and we came up with the name Sexy AF, which is super fun, yes, but it does boil down to our products, and they are, to your point, Harry, 100% alcohol free. We have an amazingly fun time with the brand. The product is super, super strong. And, my why is that I wanted my girlfriends and I to feel included. I am not against alcohol. I still love a glass of red wine or a cocktail. I'm not anti-alcohol at all. It's merely just an alternative, something that's healthy that we can choose from when we're going out, when we're with our friends, that we're not the Debbie Downers or we're not boring AF when we just have to order water again for the 10th time in a row.
Yeah, and with lime,
With lime. Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
But
absolutely.
I mean, there are two problems I see that or let's call them challenges or opportunities.
Love it.
One is that mocktails exist and that you can order them and they'll be delivered. The second is the bar call. And so your bar call is sexy AF. I want it clean. I want it botanical. I want it without alcohol. How do you get that awareness out to where it's a thing?
Yes, and those are two great challenges amongst many that we've come across. Initially, I personally don't like the word mocktails. The very first recipe book that I created,
It's all over your website. So if you
I
don't like the
know.
word mocktails, you might want to clean that up.
Well, sometimes you can't,
I don't like the
Rome
word
wasn't
either.
built in a
I
day.
think
So
it's stupid.
I'm
Mocktails.
like, I know, it's like,
It's like
why are you mocking? It's like
it's
you're
like let's have
mocking.
sex, but we're not gonna come. Yeah, we're gonna
Like
let's have
let's
all the
say
shit, but we're not gonna have the fun at the end. No, mocktails is a
I know.
terrible word. You need to clean
It's
that
like
off your
let's
website. If I have any mansplaining to do here today.
oh don't you be mansplaining me, Mr.
You know
Harry.
I mansplain.
Don't worry, we pull them off of that.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put myself on mute and let the smarter kids take over. But that's all I wanted to get to. Like, I think it's awesome what you've done. I'm
Thank you.
curious about how you saw a lot like on Amazon and and through the internet. Do you also have like a retail presence with distributors?
We do, yes, but I do want to just answer your two questions quickly before that. So mocktail is a very generic word, but everyone knows it. It has been around forever. We like to still say, mocktail, or you can say, cocktail without the alcohol. But for us in bars and restaurants, we say you don't have to change your menu completely. You can just put in our Y in brackets as if you're ordering something that's vegan or dairy-free or gluten-free, and just say, I'd like mine sexy AF. And they simply substitute the ounce of alcohol with the ounce of sexy AF to make your product alcohol-free. So that's how we get around those issues or challenges, I should say.
But how do you get that call out to be understood?
So there's a huge
generic,
yeah, no, and I get it.
Because you're on,
huge
yeah. That's what you're on this podcast. That's the way to do it. We have almost 500 listeners. So
amazing.
You're in the big time. Forget Jimmy Kimmel or whatever you've been on.
Jimmy, what's his name? Yeah.
Jimmy, what's his name? Let me tell you something, Joanne. It's only 500. I'm going to get close to the mic and I'm going to tell you it's the right 500. Okay.
There can only be 500.
It's 500, but it's the 500 people in the beverage industry that you want to get to. So I don't want to put pressure on you.
I'm feeling a little.
We got to make this. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I mean, no, I'm not kidding. That's true. But I'm gonna put myself on mute. But go ahead with your story.
Sure. So I have to think about now what I was saying. Okay. So there's a huge educational component with regards to the whole industry, whether I'm trying to sell direct to consumer, like, here's our virgin, you can make a virgin and tonic, and people are like, I don't know what that is, but I can make a gin and tonic, a G&T. And then you're like, well, it's exactly the same, but without the alcohol. So that's how you make it. So there's this really, really slow but very important educational component that we've had to do direct to consumer, because when we launched Sexy, COVID hits and all the bars and restaurants shut down. And that's what our product is mainly for, the bar and restaurant industries, for the mixologists and the artisans in the industry to create as many amazing cocktails as they can. The sky's the limit with our products, because our product is so strong and it mixes well, etc., etc. So there's the educational component with the consumer directly. There's also the educational component with regards to the bars and restaurants, is that we're not competing with the liquor sales. I wasn't going to go in and drink a glass of wine anyway. I just want something different. That when I go into Chili's, I don't want to order a Diet Coke again. I want to order something else. So it's changing the mindset, and because it's such a new
does anybody drink
industry,
Diet
yeah.
Coke anymore?
I mean,
other than Donald Trump, like I don't know that if I haven't had a Diet Coke in like 8 years. Is it
like,
Sarah? Have you had a Diet Coke?
I mean, yeah.
You probably love
What are
Diet Coke.
shitting on
I knew
Diet
that
Coke
about
for?
you, Sarah. You're a Diet Coke lover.
No,
knew
I
that
don't drink a
about
lot
you.
of soda actually.
That is
no,
terrible.
and I find drinking soda makes me even more thirsty. Like there's so
Mhm.
much sodium in it that I'm just like, I don't know, it makes me thirsty and bloated.
Right. It makes
and
you
I don't
drink
know.
more water, which is why it's
Yeah.
healthy. Which is why
Oh my
everybody
God.
should drink more Diet Coke. Because it makes you drink
No,
more
they need to
water.
drink more sexy. They need to
Yeah.
drink more sexy because sexy hydrates you.
Like, do you get any pushback on the sexy AF thing, like from old people, like as fuck?
Oh, yes. Well, you know what? We do and we don't. We get some, lovely people in their 60s and 70s. They say, I just told my girlfriend about sexy AF. And they whisper it to me. And I'm like, that, and they love it. Where others are like, oh, that's so offensive. I'm like,
you know what?
The word,
If
the
it's
word
offensive
sexy,
to them, then they're
yeah.
probably not big drinkers anyway, or even big non-drinkers anyway. They're just lame. Can we just call them that? Lame?
Yeah, I'm like, come on. There's worse things out there in the world. Have some fun.
Yeah. All right. Exactly. I mean, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
offended by the word fuck? I mean,
I'm
Jesus
offended that you're
Christ.
offended.
No, I'm offended. I am offended. You know what that? Oh my God, Joanne, that is a great. I'm gonna start using that because people are always offended by me, and I'm gonna start saying, you know what? I'm offended.
Yeah.
That you're
I'm
offended.
that you're
Right.
offended, that
That
you're
I'm
hitting my
offended.
feelings.
You're my right. Are my feelings not valid? I like the way this is going so far.
What you've done,
You know
Joanne.
what?
You've given him
You know
more
what?
fodder.
Oh, there we go. I'm just feeding. I'm just lobbing them
You're
in
just
there.
feeding. You're feeding the mansplaining and the ego. You're feeding a monster. But I have to say, so far, I dig your chili. I like where
Thank
you're
you.
going. And
So,
do you have like,
mhm.
or at wholesale, like, are like wine and spirits distributors carrying it, or is it just like mostly just like sold through the mail?
So we do sell it through the mail, which is amazing because we're cleared by the FDA and we can ship it all over North America. And we do have distributors throughout Canada, as well as we're moving into the Middle East. So Dubai, Saudi Arabia, that whole market.
Yeah, they don't
We
like
have-
liquor.
No, not at all, but they love
No.
sexy. So
Right.
we are moving into those markets, as well as we have distributors in Australia and New Zealand. So they're on the health kick too. And, originally being from South Africa, I have a lot of cousins and family in both Australia and New Zealand that are like, bring it here. We need it here. All my family's in South Africa and they want it too, but it's just too difficult to get it into South Africa at this time, but hopefully one day. But yeah, you know what? We do have distributors, and a lot of it we're doing ourselves to start with. Like we were our own distributors and, trying to find our path, because we're not liquor, and the liquor people are really like, they're staying in their lane with regards to, this is how we sell liquor, this is what we've always done, etc. So for us, just finding different avenues and different channels with regards to who wants to distribute sexy and who understands the market, who sees the value, sees the growth in the market, really just jump on board and they run with it and they do extremely well.
I would think beer distributors would be a natural fit for this because they cover everything in C-stores and
right.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry. I cannot hear you.
Oh, do I need to speak up?
No, I just put my headphones back in.
Oh.
All right, Sarah, let me quit being the asshole that I am.
Very self-deprecating today.
It's a rare thing.
Well, I do have questions. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, Joanne. So I guess one thing, your website says you guys are the strongest non-alc spirit. So what do you mean by that exactly?
So I definitely did put that out on our website because it is a fact. And the reason being is that we don't distill anything when it comes to the creating of our product. A lot of our peers and competitors take alcohol and they distill it off to 0.99% water, and then the rest is the product. Whereas our product is 63% water, and the remainder is our natural botanical product that is very, very concentrated and extremely strong. So we did that so it holds up in any type of cocktail that you create. So when it comes to being, you can say you're non-alcoholic or you're alcohol-free, but non-alcoholic, there is up to 0.5% alcohol, which makes your product 95% water and makes it taste like water, in my opinion, kind of like a cucumber water or a water with a hint of something, which is not what sexy is all about at all. We recommend you don't drink it neat because it is so strong. And the reason why I did that as well is that you can always make it weaker or a little bit stronger if you want to add another ounce. So we say treat 1 ounce of alcohol as you would 1 ounce of sexy AF. Even going back to the bars and restaurants industry, so your price per pour is almost on par as well with alcohol. And that's just another huge differentiator for us with regards to, the industry is expanding at an exponential rate. RTDs, ready to drinks, are just exploding. It's so easy to make a chemical drink, throw it in a tin, and sell it at the door. Off you go. Ours takes 2 to 3 months. With regards to our process, macerating the botanicals at different times and stages, etc. It's very laborious. And for us,
It sounds
again,
exhausting.
I mean,
why
I'm
not
exhausted.
why not just mix it up and put in a tin? I mean,
right? I know.
That's what I would have done.
We do,
but, yeah.
we do get asked about vodka, which is, odorless, tasteless, colorless.
Right.
Our water.
Literally by
Yeah.
definition,
Yeah.
at least in the United States, it has to be odorless, tasteless.
Mhm.
A straight grain.
Yes.
Whatever the grain is, could be grapes or sugar, I should say. You could make vodka out of donuts if you had to.
If you had to, right?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And but I was like, so go on what you're saying, because I'm interested in this, because how do you make a mocktail vodka?
So right now, I don't know who's doing it. That it actually is the end result is a spiritless vodka, just because it's like a starch anyway and a green, and I haven't got to that stage yet to experiment to see if it's even possible to try replicate or play on. Our water is some of the purest in the world. It comes off the Rocky Mountains, off a glacier. It goes through reverse osmosis twice. We push it through a UV light. Our parts per million go from 200 to 2. So if anything, I would sell water in the future.
That's so funny you say that, Joanne, because I was like, well, a spiritless vodka would just be water.
Right?
Really, really pure water.
Very, very, very good water with a fancy label on it. And we have enough water in the world right now in most areas.
Some people call that Fiji.
Fiji, yeah. Yeah.
Or
smart. I like to drink smart water, but yeah, Fiji.
Smart water, right. Yeah. It has shit added back in. I feed that to
they put it back in.
Yes, I feed that to my dog. I personally only drink Fiji and wash my hair in it.
Fiji's good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Tell me, what's the most surprising thing about getting into the beverage business? Because we're in the alcohol business. So, you don't have all these constraints on regulatory issues because you don't have any alcohol.
Correct.
And so,
yes.
What's been the funnest part? Let's talk about that. What's been the funnest part of starting this non-alcohol company a successful brand? Like, what's fun?
I really think the most fun part is really just literally failing as I go along. I'm like, this is gonna work, this is amazing, and then it just like crashes and dies. Or I'm like, this marketing idea is gonna be amazing. I'm learning on the job, because I come from a very corporate and a little bit entrepreneurial background, where it really is, the fun part is I'm learning every day. I'm learning how to deal with different industries. I'm learning how to deal with, our peers and different customers and different marketing and branding ideas. And so for me, the fun part is every day waking up going, what the hell is going to happen today? Like, what is going to, is the shipment going to fall off the ship and not make it to Australia? Or is something else going to happen? Or like, do we not have internet today? Like every day there's just something wild that happens. And I just hold on for dear life and really am just trying to enjoy the ride as much as possible, with a few tears in between of like, oh my God, why is this not working? But the fun part is seeing people's reaction when they clue into what Sexy AF is all about, and seeing the bigger picture of how you can use Sexy AF, the collaborations that we do with different brands. I love doing different collaborations with, you name it. I love outside the box thinking, guerrilla marketing. I absolutely love all that stuff. So whoever wants to jump on board, I get so excited, and that's the fun part for me.
Limited collabs. Collabs seem to be like the big thing right now. When I say Sarah, I mean Joanne, but I'm talking to Sarah.
Okay.
I didn't know if you knew I was not.
I wouldn't say collabs are like the thing. I've always been a thing. It's a nice tool, I think, that a lot of people tap into.
Maybe for
and
you,
it's whether or not you do
Sarah,
it
but
well,
when you're as old as I am, collabs are a very new thing. When I say new, I mean the last 10 years.
So collaborations are amazing when you don't have an unlimited marketing budget like some of the big boys do in the industry. So when Bud Light comes along, or Tanqueray 0.0 comes along with their marketing budget, that's like amazing, because that opens up doors for us startups and companies that are trying to get our foot in the door. They open it for us with all their marketing and spending dollars. So we say, yay, that's amazing, but what else can we do to get the word out, to get people's attention and to learn about the product? Is, yes, collaborations, which they have come a long way, and social media has a huge impact on that. But for us, it's like, okay, I'm going to do a collaboration with a donut company. They're going to infuse their donuts with Sexy AF. We're going to call them Sexy AF Hot Stuff on Wheels, or whatever the name is. And then that's going to attract their customers that eat donuts to try Sexy in a different way, and vice versa. So there's all these different layers that you can play with regards to collabs, that there really aren't any restrictions, just what you and the other company agree, not agree upon when it comes to how you're going to promote the product.
And also, I guess, how much are you selling in the US? Because you started selling in Canada, right? And then moved into, or was it kind of simultaneous?
So we are a Canadian-based company. Our manufacturing plants here in Canada, being neighbors with the US, we do sell directly to you guys. We are searching for and looking into distribution channels in the US. It is such a big country, and there's a lot going on. But for us, funny enough, it's more Europe and Australia and New Zealand where we do sell the most. I feel like as soon as we do get a little foot into the market in the US, as and when we need to, we'll really see the volume increase at that point. Canada's ticking along. They like to see what the US does first. But we do have a lot of local support from different organizations here, which is amazing. But yeah, interestingly enough, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Australia, New Zealand, those are where we're seeing our volumes take off.
Sure. Well, no, that kind of makes sense to me when you think about the health and wellness movement globally. It's definitely started more on the European side and kind of like trickled this way. So I guess to me that kind of makes sense that you would see more success over there first, and then as the US is getting more and more into the non-alc movement, I mean, it's been growing just these past couple years, I would say. They really started, like, the data companies really started digging into what's going on in the US with non-alc versus low alc versus, there's so many options there.
There is. And when I started Sexy, which was a few years ago, the UK was already 5 years ahead of us. So that's where I got all my research and development from. Asking, I did used to live in the UK, but asking friends and family, just reading up on it, seeing that there were already companies that were offering NAAF products, and just seeing the trend, from the UK, being like, okay, what is really happening there? What can I bring across the pond? And seeing the opportunity here in North America for us, for Sexy. So yeah, it's really, really interesting, the different countries, and just how fast the uptick is with regards to people wanting to consume, not no alcohol at all, but just less alcohol, or like reading up on it in their own time, thinking I'm a little bit sober curious. I think I want to like cut down my drinking one or two drinks a week, and feeling comfortable with themselves and their options, and answering their why. And I always say that, like, why it's up to you why you're not drinking alcohol. No one has to know or care. It's really your own personal preference as to your why. So that's what it boils down to at the end of the day.
I would think that distributors in the US, that's our purview really, would be beer and wine and spirits distributors would be very interested in this, because I would imagine the margin would be pretty high because there's no excise taxes. And it's expensive to make. I get that, because the botanicals, you have 30%, that's not cheap to make. You have good ingredients, but you don't have excise taxes, which is 50% of the
Exactly.
retail price of a bottle of liquor. So
absolutely.
So you could, I would think, I'm not putting that you would, the margins would be pretty high.
Harry, the margins are amazing. If a distributor in the US wants to know more about us, you can make a lot of money selling Sexy AF, just for those 1 or 2 points that you mentioned. And there are a few more variables involved. But yes, the market is uncapped. Right now, it's a bit of a land grab. It's a free-for-all. Our margins are very, very good. We're cleared by the FDA on pretty much everything. And I feel like we're ready, and we're just kind of waiting for the market to join us. And when that happens, you're on a unicorn. You're off to the races.
Right. I have to say, Joanne, it's been delightful. Thank you for being on our little podcast. I think health and wellness.
Harry.
I mean, not that you need me to tell you, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I like what you're doing. I think I'm going to order some off Amazon actually tonight. Just to check it out. I'd like to be healthier, and I like to be weller.
Being weller is good.
You know what? I'd like to turn it over to Hana for the last word. Sorry, Hana, just to put you on the spot like that. It's really rude. It's kind of rude, actually.
I mean, all I can do is echo. First of all, nice to meet you, Joanne. I don't think we got to introduce ourselves.
I don't think we've ever met, but now we have, so it's lovely to meet you.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you too. I'm the assistant editor for Wine and Spirits Daily, so I help out Sarah.
And she's your demographic. I mean, she's out in the clubs every night.
Like, I know Sarah, I know Harry. Okay, now who's?
Yeah, I'm not like the PR person lurking in the back. I work like.
No, she's actually a writer. Yeah, we don't have any PR people in the background, and I like that you don't either.
I'm like, who else is there? Come on, introduce yourself.
Yeah, fuck that. Let's call it as fuck. Crazy as fuck.
Yeah,
Shit.
let's do it. Shit.
Yeah,
you guys are great. Yeah, go ahead, Hana. And I'm sorry. I was
just gonna say it was great getting to chat with you and learn a little bit more about your product, and yeah.
Well, thank you
Listen,
so much. You guys are such a great team. I really appreciate you reaching out, and I've had my cheeks actually sore from laughing, and I really hope I really hope you had a good a time as I did today. I really, really appreciate it. I love talking about anything sexy AF and alcohol free and non-alcohol and cocktails and wine. I could go on for days. But I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for having me on today. I really, really appreciate it.
of course, Joanne, thank you for being on. And listen, you ever want to be on again? This is 6 months.
Yes, let's do it.
You give Jen a call, or me, or Sarah, or Hannah, even Hannah. You know,
Hey, I know Hannah now. Hannah and I are
let's
good. We're
lift her
tight.
up. Let's lift
We go
her
way back.
Let's lift
Yeah.
Hannah up to be a superstar in the industry.
Go team.
All right, guys. Yeah, go team. Sorry, go girl power. Whatever. I'm the wrong guy to say that. But all right, guys. Thank you so much for being on, and thank you for drinking beer. Thank you for drinking non-alcoholic mocktails, even though we don't like that word. And no, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Take care and
All right.
ciao. Right.
Thank you so much.